Hey guys, it's Christine Jeanelle. Welcome to the first behind the message making the video, or whatever I decide to call it. It may not match the title, but yeah, here we are. I am obviously going to talk about some technical aspects to my videos. However, this is not a tutorial per se. Obviously, it's going way too fast for me to teach you anything, and I also will be focusing on my inspirations and influences to my messages, especially for this video here. And right now you can see I'm working with the green screen of the dolls. These are all individual pictures that I took. So my setup is pretty simple. I actually record the audio first, except for in this case because I need to see what I'm talking about. But for all the videos where there's real acting involved, I do record the voices separately, and then I go back and match the video to it. So that's what you were watching first, me editing every voice over top of each other so I can get the timing down to see how long I need to make these pictures. And as you can see how long those pictures are, basically how wide it is how long it stays on the timeline, is, you know, how long it's going to stay in the video. That made no sense. Anyway, like I was saying, my setup is pretty simple. That doll stand that I'm using is just foam that I got from the dollar store and some popsicle sticks that I use to hold the dolls up. And here, because Princess Tiana is wearing green, can't use the green screen because then she just disappear. However, I regret very, very much using a red background. As you can see, I'm having all kinds of trouble with the coloring. I just could not figure it out. Once you take the green out, it was pretty horrible. I do end up figuring it out in the end. But yeah, I guess I thought I was smarter than Hollywood and just didn't want to use a blue screen. No, I know what happened. Back when I was using those Monster High dolls, the dolls themselves were green and they were blue. So I couldn't use a blue screen or a green screen. I actually ended up using a pink blanket to do those stop motions. So I guess just because I was used to that color, I went and got a red background. Yeah, I need to go get a blue one. Two things that can be frustrating with doing or just challenging with doing stop motion on a green, or just using chroma key, which is the technical term for green screening, is that the timing for me, I never get right. I always have to extend something or add more pictures to get it to actually match the vocals that I recorded. And then when you do have issues with the pictures, it's not just like where I have a video, I edit the chroma key or whatever out, you know, set the color, and then I'm done, I'm good. But with the stop motion, there may be like 15 seconds of video with over 150, 200 photos, and I have to do each individual photo. But like I said, this is going fast. This is playing at 1,000%. Meaning it's 100 times faster than when I was actually editing the video. I only recorded about an hour, 45 minutes or so, 3 nights last week, Monday, Tuesday, and Friday night. I didn't record it every night. I did have to take all week to work on that last video, even though the actual video portion where I'm not talking, where it's just the dolls, was maybe 2.5 minutes long. Yeah, stop motions kicked my butt. Okay, so I did also promise you non-technical stuff about the video, and really the first thing I wanted to talk about was what prompted me to actually write this poem or spoken word. Originally, I actually wrote this over a year ago, and most of the things for my channel I wrote last year before I ever started recording. Honestly, if I never write another thing, I probably have enough for at least another year or two worth of videos. But yeah, last year I was on the phone with my friend. You know, he's very much into film, and he just made a film with his brother, which is so awesome. They made their own short film, like wrote, directed, everything. So cool. But we were having a conversation, and he was talking about the kinds of stories that he wants to tell. And he said he wanted to tell stories of people like me. I forget how we got on this point, but he was saying, you know, people who are proud of who they are, even if they don't fit the mold. He wanted to tell stories of people like me who are very pro-black and pro-unity. Well, I personally am very pro-unity and pro-love, you know, for everyone. Even though I am proud of my blackness, like I said in the video, pro-black is not anti-white. And I guess for the story it does matter, he is black as well. And we were talking about how much the N-word is used and accepted in mainstream black culture, and how it just is so completely disgusting to us. I don't understand how something so full of hate can just be accepted and used so widely and then expected for everyone, or people look surprised when I don't use it or I don't approve, or people from other cultures will look at me, oh, but you guys say the N-word, and I'm like, why do I have to defend something that I don't do? You know what I mean? Like, why do you assume so much about me as soon as you meet me because of the color of my skin? You assume that I do all these things that I look at. Well, I'm not going to repeat the whole poem. Go watch that video. But yeah, and it's something we've talked about a lot, actually, because we used to work together. He was actually my old manager. Pretty cool dude. But yeah, and out of that, because I was just getting the idea to do the channel, and I actually hadn't had the idea to use the dolls or anything. I just knew that I wanted to have my voice out there. So I wrote it then, and it was just going to be a regular spoken word. But then obviously I decided to have my dolls do it, so it kind of fit the theme. And then, you know, just have a more diverse show, more shades and different colors of us, of the black woman and man as well. Because I got those really awesome Fresh Squad dolls and some really fly Kens in there. Yes. So growing up, another inspiration for this spoken word / poem, and I touched a bit on this in the actual video. Like I said, growing up, there was no true blurred or black nerd community like there is today. There was no social media, nothing to connect you with like-minded people around the world who were not like in your immediate vicinity. If no one in your grade or school liked what you liked, then you were isolated. And you know, it's probably not as big of a deal, at least in that respect, like I said, because of social media today as it was when I was growing up. But I do still feel like we all have areas in our lives where we feel we were labeled like soup cans, to where, you know, maybe there are people, like someone commented on the video, he feels the same way. He feels he's Mexican American, and he feels like he's torn, where sometimes he feels like he's not Mexican enough, and sometimes he feels like, or people are pressuring him as if he's not American enough. You know what I mean? But I would hope that it speaks to more than just people who look exactly like me. Now, I didn't record me editing her portion, the Misty Copeland doll, who was the ballerina. If you're not familiar, Misty Copeland is the first African American woman to be promoted to a principal ballet dancer at the American Ballet Theater, one of the 3 leading classical ballet companies in the U.S. Now, I know there are different levels, and the principal dancer is the highest there is. Before you become a principal dancer, you become a soloist, and she actually was the second black female to be a soloist. There was someone before her. I don't have her name right next to me. And it's just a big deal because so much about the shape of our bodies especially makes us stand out. And when you see those ballerinas, they're always very tall, very lithe, very thin. Maybe not always tall, but definitely very thin. Whereas we tend to be more on the curvaceous side. And regardless of athletic ability, well, that's just not the look, you know. And she knows she got that a lot. And she felt like she was fat. And she is so not fat, she's so fit. It's so sickening that she felt that way. But yeah. And even with Serena, I've heard people talk about Serena. And like, if you look at her abs, like her stomach is so flat beyond flat. You know, she's just blessed in other areas. And that's just the way her body's shaped. Doesn't mean she's fat. Definitely in shape. I can't run around like her. I sure cannot. But, so a couple things I didn't know about the doll before I got it. I mean, I'm still glad I got the doll. But I wasn't smart enough to play around with her. Before I decided to shoot her, I just choreographed what I wanted her to do in my head. But one, she's sewn into that Firebird outfit, and I can never take her out. 2, she's not what's called a made-to-move Barbie. You know, a made-to-move doll is double jointed. So like I said, the elbow can go all the way back to where a hand could touch the shoulder, or they could sit on their ankles. You know, the knees bend all the way under. as opposed to most dolls only bend at a 90-degree angle. So when I had choreographed her piece, I had in mind that she would be a made to move, or have those double joints to where she could move completely, and she couldn't. So to me it looked kind of stiff. I didn't hear any complaints about her dance, but I wasn't really pleased with what I did there with Misty Copeland's dance. But even with Misty's amazing breakthrough in America, it's very telling that this is just not happening with the American Ballet Theater being 75 years old, where for years ballet dancers, Black American ballet dancers, have been getting jobs over in Europe, and there are more least well-known Black ballerinas over in Europe. What many people fail to realize is that Misty is not the first brown-skinned ballerina. In 1955, Raven Wilkinson was actually the first African American to be a part of the illustrious Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, which is in France, and they study the Russian discipline of ballet. And so Misty Copeland told Vanity Fair that when she saw a picture of Wilkinson, she cried upon hearing a history I didn't know about, but that she found comfort in knowing that there was someone else out there like me, who had danced in an elite white company and faced adversity. And this sparked something in me that made me feel I had a responsibility beyond my own ballet career, a responsibility to be a voice, a representation of hope for future and past brown ballerinas. And that's really what I like most about Misty, is that she really isn't just out there for herself, doing her own thing. And I also think that's a big reason of why she rose to fame, is because she's such an advocate, and she chooses to use her platform to raise up others who would like the opportunity. I said all that to say, this is why movies like Hidden Figures are so important to me. One, I'm just really tired of seeing black slave movies. Like, can we move on? And I feel like we actually have recently moved on from just always doing the slave movie. But going back to Hidden Figures, the information that there were black female mathematicians, physicists, and space scientists at NASA was literally hidden from us, not marginalized, not treated with disinterest, but actually kept hidden from the public. And I came across a blog from an African-American theoretical physicist. She said, my training as a theoretical physicist or astrophysicist, depending on who you ask, had not hidden white women in astronomy from me so much as been disinterested in them. But in the case of black women in astronomy, their existence was literally unbelievable. So unbelievable that it was not considered reasonable to go looking for them. How do we search for that which is unimaginable, but potentially incredibly real? If you haven't seen Hidden Figures, it stars Taraji P. Henson as Katherine Goebel Johnson, true person. She was an African-American mathematician whose calculations of orbital mechanics as a NASA employee were critical to the success of the first and subsequent U.S. manned space flights. I had no idea that there were black women in NASA before this movie. And these are the stories that need to be told, need to be shared, need to be put out there. And that's also the problem with the labels. It just seems so unbelievable, as if that could even happen in the 60s. So I believe the first flight, not when we landed on the moon, but the first orbital flight, I believe, was in like 62. And it's funny because I don't remember this from history, because we didn't win that race. The Russians actually orbited the planet before us. We got on the moon first, so that's what they talk about in history class, right? And that's what I remember. But yeah, that's kind of also what I touched on. There are just, people of every color doing things that we never would give them credit for, imagine they could do. And it's just an excellent movie, some food for thought to expand our horizons. But yeah, definitely see it if you haven't yet. It has obviously Taraji, and she does an amazing job as Catherine. Kevin Costner, who's my bull, he is in it and amazing. I have never seen that man in a bad movie. Who else is in it? Janelle Monáe, Victoria Spencer, Octavia Spencer. Ooh, don't tell her I said that. She's not going to see this video. It doesn't matter. But yeah, we're winding down to the end of this video. Let me know if you want more tech talk or if you want more insight, what all you guys are interested in. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, especially if you stuck around this far. I really truly appreciate it. You guys are the very best. And I do apologize, I feel like I wasn't as animated as I normally am. I haven't been feeling well this week, but I still wanted to put this out there. So hopefully this was interesting. Leave any of your questions down in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you next Saturday with another story, which will be focusing on depression and anxiety. As always, love, peace, and unity. Bye.